Hello everyone and welcome to English Simple and Easy. The subject that I bring you today is some, any, all right? And I think the first thing that we can do is to place these quantity words on the quantity scale, all right? So at the bottom of the quantity scale, we have a, n, because it's just one, okay? So that's the smallest quantity, all right? And then we have a few, a little, all right? That's a small quantity. And then we have some, any, right there, some, any. They refer to a medium quantity. And then after that we have many, much, okay? And then at the top of the scale, at the top of the list, we have a lot of, plenty of, for a big quantity. But this video today is just about some, any, right? And they refer to a medium quantity. The first thing that I love, okay? The first thing that I love about some, any is that they can be used for both the singular and the plural, and that is fantastic, okay? Because then we can use them in a lot of different ways. And then also, because they can be used for both the singular and the plural, it's easier to use them, okay? But still, a lot of people make mistakes when using them for some reason, because some it is only used for some situations and any in different situations, okay? So now that we know that some and any can be used for the singular and plural, and that they refer to a medium quantity, we can have a look at some examples, and then the examples will make it even clearer how to use them. So the first example that I'd like to give you is this sentence here. I have some pen drives. And it's true, I have some pen drives. I don't have a lot of pen drives, but I have some. And how many pen drives do you have? Okay, you can leave a comment below and tell me how many pen drives you have. Maybe you have some pen drives like me. So you see, we have there, I have some pen drives. So the first thing that we need to remember about some is that some is only for affirmative sentences, for positive sentences, okay? So you can see the example there. I have some pen drives. And then if I transform this sentence into a negative sentence, then it goes like this. I don't have any pen drives. So you see, when you were talking about the negative, you cannot use some. So automatically some becomes any because it's in the negative. And then, for instance, if I want to ask you if you have pen drives, I would ask you, do you have any pen drives? Right? Or in British English they say, have you got any pen drives? Okay? So any, we use any both in the negative sentences and in questions. Okay? So this was example number 1. Let's move on to example number 2. Remember that I told you at the beginning of the video that some and any can be used for both singular and plural. So here's another example to prove that. So let's have a look at this sentence. He eats some bread. See, bread there, it's in the singular. It's a solid, bread is solid, okay? It's a solid noun, it's a solid thing. But usually in English, we just use it in the singular, okay? So he eats some bread. And then let's transform this sentence into a negative one, right? So how does it go? So it goes like this. He doesn't eat any bread. So you see, we don't use some anymore. Then it becomes any because it's in the negative, okay? And then again, if you transform it into a question, okay, into the interrogative, then it goes like this. Does he eat any bread? Okay, again, you see any there, right? So you wouldn't say, does he eat some bread? You would say, does he eat any bread? All right. And then there is some milk in the fridge. Okay, there is some milk in the fridge. So you see, it's in the affirmative. Okay, and milk, it's liquid, so it's in the singular. All right, there is some milk in the fridge. And then how do we transform it? How do you transform the sentence into a negative one? There isn't, what do you say? There isn't any milk in the fridge. Again, you see, because we're not talking about the affirmative anymore, so we use any. There isn't any milk in the fridge. And then if you ask the question, is there any milk in the fridge? Okay, is there any milk in the fridge? Okay, pay attention also when you ask a question in English, pay attention to the pronunciation. Because sometimes, and I say this to my students many times, sometimes the students pay so much attention to the grammar. Okay, oh, I have to get my grammar correct, my grammar has to be perfect. And they forget about the intonation. The intonation is also very important. So when you ask a question, you make sure that you ask in a question, okay? And then also when you say something in the affirmative, make sure that you say it in the affirmative. So if you say, well, there is some milk in the fridge. There isn't any milk in the fridge. Is there any milk in the fridge? Okay, so you make sure that you are using the right intonation for each sentence, okay? And then we have a last example, and there are some vegetables in the fridge. Again, you see some being used with the plural, vegetables, okay? There are some vegetables in the fridge. Let's transform this into the negative, okay? So how does it go? There aren't any vegetables in the fridge, okay? And then let's go and ask the question. Are there, see, then you invert that. Are there any vegetables in the fridge? Okay, it's a very simple topic. It just, you see, you just have to remember these three things. So some, any, they refer to a medium quantity. Okay, some and any can be both used for not just the for both the singular and the plural. Okay, and then for affirmative sentences we use some, and for the questions and the negative we use any. There is a little exception to this rule. It's just little. I mean, it's something very, very small. When you are offering something to a person, so imagine that a friend of yours, imagine that your friend comes to visit you at home in your house, and you would like to offer him or her something. Okay, imagine that you are offering him some water. So you would say, would you like some water? So you see, it's a question, okay, it's in the interrogative, but you wouldn't say, would you like any water? Yeah, so when you are offering something, that's the time, that's the only time that you will use some in a question, because the intention there is to really offer something to a person, hoping or desiring that the person says yes back to you, answers yes. Okay, so you say, would you like some water? So remember, if you are offering something to a person, then you will use some in the question, in the interrogative. But other than that, in most situations, all right, you will say some for the affirmative, and any for the negative and the question. Okay, so thank you for watching, and see you on the next video, and enjoy your English. Bye.